Again from my green glasses, the collection of his Sipurim. It's a famous story. So the story is that once the Rebbe and Chaim Musi, we're talking here about the wife of the Tzemach Tzedek. As you probably know, that the Rebbe and the Rebbetzin, both of them the Rebbe carries the name of the Tzemach Tzedek, and the Rebbe Chaim Mushka carries the name, bore the name of the Tzemach Tzedek's Rebbetzin. So this is the Chaim Mushka, the Tzemach Tzedek's Rebbetzin. So she once asked her son, the Maril, Rabbi Yehuda Leib, they had 7 sons and most became Rebbes. So she once asked him, and that's how he was referred to as the Maril, even by his father. Tzemach Tzedek had names for all of his children. Didn't call them by their direct names, but these titles. So he was known as the Maril. So she asked her son, how is it that you know the whole Tehillim by heart? I'm older than you, and I see Tehillim every day. And why don't I remember it by heart? She was upset a little bit on herself why she doesn't know it by heart. So his son answered her somewhat facetiously. He said, because when you say Tehillim, you say it always with mistakes. And each time you say the Tehillim, it's a new Tehillim. So, therefore, you don't remember Tehillim because saying something once, you're not going to remember. It's always something new. So the next time that the Rebbetzin spoke to her husband, the Tzemach Tzedek, in her discussion, she mentioned what their son had told her. The Tzemach Tzedek called in the Maril and told him to ask forgiveness from his mother for what he had said. And moreover, a short while later, when the Tzemach Tzedek was summoned to Petersburg, which happened on several occasions, with meetings that the government called of the leading rabbis of Russia, and on the table were decisions that would affect Russian Jewry and its survival, in fact, very serious issues, and many stories with the Tzemach Tzedek during that time. And this was a particularly severe issue. It was affecting the whole educational system that the government wanted to control for all Russian Jewry, controlling the curriculum and the teachers. This was all, to a degree, this was influenced by the Maskilim, who sought the Enlightenment movement that sought to uproot all the Ruchnias from Jewish life. This was very serious. And the Tzemach Tzedek at that time put his life on the line in confronting the government, was arrested many, many times. So the story concludes that on this critical meeting, which was spanned many days, maybe weeks, he asked his Rebbetzin, Dafke, that she should say Tehillim and daven for him in order to be successful. And he counted amongst the schusim that he had, that he was successful and prevailed over the government and many other the rabbis that had succumbed. Some of them were lackeys and appointed by the government, because the study of Kabbalah and Chassidus particularly was going to be outlawed and removed from the system completely. He said one of the reasons that he was successful was the Tehillim that was said by his wife, the Rebbe Chaim Musi. So from here we see that what Rahman Libaboy, as the Hashem Tev taught, Hashem, the All Merciful, wants the heart. It's not an excuse for us, of course, that if we know how to read properly, we should and pay careful attention, because there's great significance to each word and letter said properly. But if one is doing one's absolute best, and the words don't come out exactly as they should, but we do it with a whole heart, so we see how wonderful this is, and this is one of the merits that the Tzemach Tzedek enumerated for the victory in this critical encounter and meetings with the Russian government.